Hey there, horror fans. Tonight, I've got a story that'll make you double-check your locks and keep the lights on. It's from my friend Rachel, a young woman living in a small apartment in Rochester, New York, who had a terrifying night in 2005 while her husband was away. What started as an ordinary evening alone turned into something straight out of a nightmare, with strange noises, a creepy phone call, and a visitor who wasn't human. So, grab a blanket, dim the lights, and get ready, because this one's just for you. If it sends shivers down your spine, smash that like button. Your likes keep these creepy stories coming, and I've got more waiting if you show the love. Let's dive in. It's February 2005, and Rachel is a 24-year-old graphic designer living in a cramped studio apartment in downtown Rochester, New York, where the Genesee River runs cold and the winter air bites like a knife. Her husband, Mike, a truck driver, is on a short overnight run to Buffalo, due back at 4 a.m. Rachel hates being alone in the apartment, a fifth-floor walk-up with thin walls and a view of the snowy street below. The place is cozy enough, with a bed shoved against one wall, a tiny kitchen, and a bathroom just steps from the front door, but it feels empty without Mike snoring or the hum of his old radio. To kill time, she spends the day with her mom, hitting up stores at the Marketplace Mall, lugging home bags of groceries and a new sweater. By 8 p.m., she's beat, her feet aching from trudging through slush. She decides to nap before cooking something for Mike's return, collapsing onto the bed without even kicking off her socks. Around midnight, she's jolted awake by a noise in the hallway, a heavy, uneven stomping, like someone in high heels with metal tips is dragging themselves up the stairs. It's loud, deliberate, each step echoing through the thin walls, reminding her of a goofy Goosebumps episode where a statue chases a kid on horseback. She lies still, annoyed, figuring it's a drunk neighbor struggling home from a bar. The building's old, with creaky floors and motion sensor lights that flick on whenever someone hits a landing. She waits for the stomping to pass, expecting the woman to stumble into her own apartment, but the noise stops right outside her door, so close she can almost feel it through the wall. Her bed faces the entrance, and she squints at the peephole, waiting for the hallway light to glow through it, a sign someone's triggered the sensor. Nothing. The peephole stays dark, the hallway silent, like the sound never happened. Rachel's about to close her eyes, chalking it up to her imagination, when her phone rings, the shrill tone slicing through the quiet. She grabs it from the nightstand, her heart skipping when she sees the caller ID, Grandpa Joe. It's weird, because her grandpa's been in Strong Memorial Hospital for 2 weeks with pneumonia, and her mom confirmed just that morning he's being transferred to a rehab facility, not coming home. Plus, it's midnight, way past his bedtime, and he's not one for late calls. She answers, her voice groggy. "Hey, Grandpa, you okay?" His voice is warm, familiar, but off, like it's filtered through static. "Rachel, honey, I was thinking of stopping by. Not too late, is it?" Her stomach twists. She forces a laugh, playing along. "I'd love to see you, but, when'd you get out?" He chuckles, a sound that doesn't quite match his usual gravelly tone. "Oh, just today, not long ago. Thought I'd swing by." Her mind races. There's no way he's out of the hospital, no way he's in Rochester, let alone at her door at midnight. She's talked to her mom, the nurses, everyone. He's bedridden, not wandering the city. "You sure you're good?" she asks, her voice tight. They chat for a minute, him asking about her day, her answering on autopilot, but his voice grows stranger, hollow, like it's coming from far away. He wishes her good night, the line clicks dead, and she's left staring at the phone, her skin prickling. Sleep's gone now. She needs a cigarette to calm her nerves. She slides out of bed, grabbing her pack and lighter from the kitchen counter, her bare feet cold on the linoleum. The bathroom's right by the front door, a tiny closet with a flickering bulb, and as she moves toward it, her eyes adjust to the dark. That's when she sees her cat, Shadow, a scruffy tabby, crouched near the door, his back arched, fur bristling, staring at the entrance like it's his enemy. His eyes glow in the dim light, unblinking, and he's in full attack mode, tail rigid, a low growl rumbling in his throat. Rachel freezes, her pulse hammering. She follows his gaze to the door, and that's when she hears it, a sound so faint she almost misses it over the ticking of her wall clock, heavy, rasping breaths, like someone with bad lungs is standing just outside, inches from the wood. Her mouth goes dry, fear creeping up her spine. She stares at the door, the peephole still dark, no light, no motion sensor triggered. The breathing gets louder, deliberate, like it's meant to be heard. She takes a step back, her hand clutching the lighter, and the floor creaks under her weight. Instantly, something slams against the door, a single, thunderous bang that shakes the frame. Shadow bolts under the bed, hissing, and Rachel's legs turn to jelly, her feet slick with sweat. She's frozen, her heart pounding so hard it hurts, when a voice cuts through the silence, soft and feminine, almost sweet, but dripping with menace. "Hey, girl, do you believe in God?" Rachel's mind blanks, terror swallowing her thoughts. She's alone, 5 floors up, no neighbors close enough to hear her scream. Above the door, 2 small icons hang, cheap wooden crosses with painted saints, bought from a pushy vendor at her old job who swore they'd ward off bad intentions. She never took them seriously, just liked the look, but now her eyes lock onto them, desperate for anything to cling to. Her voice comes out louder than she means, shaking but defiant. "What kind of nonsense is this? You guys up there got my back or what?" She's talking to the icons, half expecting nothing, but the air shifts, like the room's holding its breath. From the other side of the door, a laugh slithers through, high and nasty, a hee that makes her skin crawl. The voice speaks again, closer now, like it's pressed against the wood. "Fine, I'll come in through the balcony then." The stomping starts again, that same heavy, metal-tipped clatter, but now it's moving downward, toward the street, fading into the night. Still, no light flickers through the peephole, no sensor tripped, like whatever's out there isn't solid enough to trigger it. Rachel's stomach churns, her knees weak. Her apartment's got a small balcony off the living room, accessible from the fire escape, and the thought of something climbing up sends her into a panic. She stumbles to the balcony door, her hands shaking as she checks the lock, the glass cold against her fingers. Shadow's there now, slinking toward the door, his eyes fixed on the glass, like he's hunting something outside. Rachel grabs one of the icons, yanking it off the wall, nail and all, and sets it on the floor by the balcony, a makeshift barrier. She races to the kitchen window, hoping to block that too, but she's out of icons, and the fear's choking her. She remembers her mom's old advice, swear like a sailor when you're scared, it keeps the devil away. Standing in the dark, she lets loose, cursing the night, the voice, the whole building, her voice hoarse but steady, like she's fighting back. Nothing happens, no bangs, no laughter, just silence, but it's not comforting, it's heavy, like the calm before a storm. Outside, the street's quiet, too quiet. Her windows, double-paned to block Rochester's winter chill, muffle most noise, but she should hear something, cars, voices, anything. She glances at Shadow, who's calmed down, rubbing against her legs, purring, heading for his food bowl. If he's relaxed, maybe it's over, she thinks, but her body won't move, rooted to the spot, her muscles locked with fear. She stands there, 10 minutes, maybe more, staring at the balcony door, the icon glinting in the moonlight. Finally, she forces herself to the bathroom, lights a cigarette with trembling hands, and cracks the window for air. That's when chaos erupts outside. Across the street, a group of teens hanging by a bodega starts shouting, their words frantic but muffled. Dogs bark, a chorus of howls rising from the alley. Stray cats yowl like they're being torn apart, and car alarms go off, one after another, a cacophony of beeps and wails echoing through the night. Rachel's heart races, her cigarette burning forgotten in her hand. She looks at Shadow, who's back to eating, unbothered, and slams the window shut. "Not my problem," she mutters, but her voice shakes, and she knows she's lying to herself. She doesn't sleep. She sits on the bed, the icon clutched in her lap, Shadow curled beside her, and waits for Mike. At 4:15 a.m., his key turns in the lock, and she nearly cries with relief. He's exhausted, smelling of diesel and coffee, but his face falls when he sees her. "Ratch, you look like hell. What's wrong?" She tells him everything: the stomping, the call, the voice, the bang. He checks the door, the balcony, finds nothing, but his jaw tightens when she mentions the call from Grandpa. They phone the hospital, and the nurse confirms Joe's still there, sedated, no visitors, no calls. Mike's skeptical, thinks it was a prank, maybe kids messing with her, but he doesn't push when she starts to cry. "You're safe now," he says, but he double-checks the locks before bed. The next day, Rachel calls her mom, who's shaken about the Grandpa Joe call. "He didn't phone anyone," her mom says, "and he's not walking, honey." Rachel checks her call log, but there's no record of the midnight call, like it never happened. She starts noticing things: scratches on the outside of the balcony door, faint but deep, like claws. Shadow avoids the door now, hissing if she gets too close. A neighbor mentions hearing weird footsteps in the stairwell that night, but nobody saw anything, and the building's security camera was down, again. Rachel keeps the icons up, adds a third from a flea market, and starts burning sage, something her coworker swears keeps bad vibes away. She doesn't tell Mike, doesn't want him thinking she's crazy, but she stops staying home alone when he's on runs. Months later, she hears from a neighbor, an old guy named Carl who's lived in the building forever. He says the apartment's got a history. A woman lived there in the 80s, died in a fire on the 5th floor, ruled an accident, but rumors said she was into dark stuff, rituals, things that left the place tainted. Carl's seen shadows in the hall, heard voices asking questions through doors, always at night. "You're not the first," he tells Rachel, his eyes serious. "Get out if you can." They move in 2006, to a house in the suburbs, and Rachel feels lighter, like she left something behind. But she still jumps at late-night calls, and when she hears high heels on pavement, her heart races, her mind flashing to that voice: "Do you believe in God?" "Last year, I met Rachel for coffee in Rochester, and she told me this, her hand steady but her eyes distant, like she was back in that studio. She's got a kid now, a quiet life, but she keeps a cross by her bed and checks her locks twice. The old building's still there, half empty, with new tenants complaining about noises, lights flickering, cats acting strange. A maintenance guy quit in 2020, said he heard a woman laughing in the stairwell, but the cameras showed nothing. Rachel doesn't go back, doesn't even drive through downtown if she can avoid it. "Something was at my door," she said, stirring her coffee. "And it wasn't human." That's the story, just for you. If it made your skin crawl, hit that like button hard. Your likes keep these creepy tales coming, and I've got more that'll make you sleep with the lights on. Don't miss out.